Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Pickpocket Bets. This is episode 3 of our podcast. Just to recap yesterday, real quick, we were 15 of 28 out of the 28 total picks we gave. That's above 50%, which in my opinion is pretty good. I was kind of sad because I was super confident on Giannis's over in points. I thought that was a lock. He scored 7 points. I did not expect that to happen, so I lost some money there. And then I had that Capitals Leafs parlay, and of course the Capitals fucking lost too. So both my locks yesterday missed. So my apologies for that. I guess I was kind of lucky because I did mention Connor McDavid, anytime goal scorer. I hammered that. I really liked that, and I did take the Kings spread last night against the Rockets. Kind of went into the analysis about that yesterday. And so overall, we came out with an $18 profit. Probably not the result we're fully looking for, but anytime you're positive is a good day on the book. I have no complaints about making money, regardless if it's a dollar or 200. So for that reason, let's get into today's picks. So we got, I guess you guys probably noticed by now, my co-host Liam is not going to be with me today. I'm not sure when he'll be back exactly, but I'm kind of gonna just carry along with our picks and yeah. All right. So for today, at least the NHL is a pretty full slate. We have starting off with it's a tough game as a Kraken fan because we're playing the best team in hockey statistically, the Bruins today. Um, my guess is that the Bruins are going to win the game. I'm a Kraken fan and I like the value in our money line when we've won 4 of our last 5. So I'm going to take Kraken money line parlay with the over. I've said it on the last 2 episodes almost. I think that like the Kraken and the over are a lock. I really like their chances of just pulling one out. Like I said, safe bet, Boston money line. If you want some value, I'd say Kraken money line parlay with the over. You could see some good value there. Moving on to the Maple Leaves and the Red Wings. I faded the Red Wings last podcast, and of course they won. So I'm actually gonna keep doing it though. I'm taking the Maple Leaves. I like them. I like their offense better. Um, only 3 wins in their last 5 games. You'd be hoping for a little bit better. Detroit did have that impressive win over the Winnipeg Jets last time, but the Maple Leafs are 2-0 in the season series so far. I'm sticking with my gut. I'm taking the Leafs again. I think the Leafs are a top 5 team in hockey, and the over/under set at 6.5. The last 3 games, 4 games, Detroit 12 combined points, 5 points, 6 points, 5 points. So, I mean, they're usually between 5 and 7, and Toronto's kind of in the same boat. So I'm taking the over on this. I think that over 6.5 is the right pick. And then moving on after that, we're gonna go into our next game, which is gonna be Stars Rangers. For Stars Rangers, I'm gonna stick with Stars money line. I actually like the fact that they're underdogs. They have a really good offense and they're a great hockey team. The Rangers are also a good hockey team, but I just think the Stars are gonna edge them out in this game. And the Rangers did win the first game of the series 6-3. So that gives me confidence to believe that the Stars are going to come back ready to fight. And if you just look at their goals per game are so even. They both score around 3.4, 3.24 for the Rangers, 3.4 for the Stars. It's 2 high-scoring teams, and it's going to be a great hockey game. I'm taking the Stars, and to go along with that, I think over 5.5 goals is a lock. I love that. Just to put it simply. And then after going on to the next game, we're gonna have. Sorry, guys, I got a bunch of tabs open. Next game, we're gonna have the Canucks and the Lightning. This game, in my personal opinion, is a lock for Lightning puck line. I don't think there's any value in taking minus 267 money line. I would take Lightning minus 1.5, and to go along with that, I also like the under in this game. I don't think that there's going to be a combined 7 goals. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I do like the under though. And then so then we'll go to Wild and Islanders. Now I've kind of mentioned before the Islanders they're a tough team for me because they play such a defensive style of hockey. It's really hard for them to what they like to play with the lead. If they have the lead, it's really hard to come back. So for that reason, they're at home. I'm taking the Islanders over the Wild, taking their money line. And I also believe the under six, kind of just to go along with my point, defensive style of team. I like under six in that game. And then next up, we got Flames Blues. This is like basic. I'm pretty sure they just played like recently, didn't they? Let me double check. Yeah, so they just played. Yeah, they just played 2 days ago. So, and I liked the Blues in that matchup. And I don't know why there's only a 3 game split, but the Blues get 2 out of 3 at home. I'm gonna stick with my gut and stay with the home ice here, home ice advantage. Take Blues money line. And also I love the over in this game. Both games before this have combined for 7 total points. I want to stay on that trend and say that it's going to continue to be a high scoring matchup. So yeah, over for the Blues. And then we got Avalanche at Blackhawks. This is an interesting game too. I mean, Avalanche are a better team, just purely statistically speaking. As someone who I actually live in Chicago currently, but I will say this: the Blackhawks have the Blackhawks have very good home ice, and even though they're not good, they compete well at home. And I do like their chances in this game as an underdog. So I'm gonna take Blackhawks money line. I wouldn't say it's the smartest play. It's definitely a value pick, but I have faith in it. And I also do like the over six. And you know, I'll just give you a little bit more background on that because when I give these over unders, I don't necessarily go into it fully on the podcast because I know you guys don't want to listen to someone lecture you for 45 minutes. So, but I kind of just go through past games, you know, the last 5 or 10 games these teams have both played, their past matchups, you know, how many goals they're averaging a game. And if I see trends of like, you know, they're constantly having like 6, 7, 8 combined goals in a game, it's gonna make me more likely to hit the over. Whereas like a team like the Islanders, I know that they like to play defense. They usually have lower scoring games. I'm going to tend to hit unders. So my over under analysis is purely just off of goal analytics and how many combined goals they've been, you know, scoring recently. And uh, so Chicago only averages 2.2, which is low, but the Avalanche average 3, and I mean that's already 5 right there. I say I would give the Blackhawks a little more credit on home ice, like I said. So I'm kind of kicking in 1 or 2 more goals, and that's kind of where my analysis is on that. So sorry, that was kind of a tangent, but I just wanted to give you guys a little background on, you know, how I'm coming to these conclusions. And then so this next game is second to last game on the slate, Senators Coyotes. It's I would just take the Senators money line. I think that's, even though Coyotes have home ice, I like the Senators better in this game, in this matchup. I think they pull it out. I also do like the under 6.5 goals. Both these teams average under 3 goals a game, and I don't see them hitting the over. So yeah, that's kind of my analysis on that one. And last hockey game of the day, we got the Golden Knights at home. Yeah, against the Panthers. And oh, you know what? I accidentally skipped 1 game. I'll go back to it. So we got the Panthers and Knights. So I'm gonna take Knights money line. Just the Panthers have been not playing they haven't been playing good recently, in my personal opinion. They're they are 3 of their last 5, but they've they've been beating bad teams and losing to good teams. Vegas is also 3 of their last 5. They had a rough outing against the Kings last matchup or last time out, but I have faith they're going to come and bounce back. I think they're a good hockey team. They are 14 points ahead of the Panthers, so it's not like the Panthers are significantly a better team. Actually, if anything, the Knights are a significantly better team. So I'm going to stick with Knights money line, and I'm going to take the over on that. The Panthers do score a lot of goals. They're a very offensive oriented team, so I do like the over hitting in that game, but I like the Knights to pull it out. And then the 1 game I accidentally slipped over, guys. I'm sorry. The slate gets me screwed up sometimes. So Predators and Canadians. I'm going to take Preds on the road, Preds money line, and I do like the over in that game. The over is going to be set at 6.5. I like the over in that game. And the reason why is because if you look at their stats, so yeah, so Nashville's averaging almost 3 a game, and the Canadians are a little bit below 3, but just usually in the Canadians' last 5 games, the combined goals have been 9, 11, 5, and 9. So there's a lot of high scoring hockey games. So that's kind of where I'm taking the over on. So yeah, that's it for our hockey slate. Let's get into the NBA slate for today. Um, so to start off, we got the Sixers, who have been playing a lot recently. I feel like we've talked about the Sixers almost every day. Um, we got the Sixers at home. They're hosting the Thunder. So, you always got to look at in the NBA. To me, it's a lineups game. The lineups are all that matter. I barely even look at anything other than the starting lineup. The starting lineup to me is a direct correlation to what I think is going to happen. And I made a good amount of money on the NBA, so I would say sticking to lineups is kind of my thing. And everyone is healthy for both sides, so that makes me believe that this is going to be a pretty high scoring game. I do like the Thunder. Excuse me. I do like Philly to cover -9.5, and the reason I'm taking that is because I think Embiid's going to go off. The center that's starting for I've never even heard of him. Eugene Omoruyi, he might be good. No disrespect to him. I've never heard of him before. So I'm just gonna assume that Joel Embiid's gonna go off. That's where my analysis is on that one. And I like Harden. Harden's been playing well this year. Maxi's a bucket. Tobias Harris is pretty good. The Sixers are a good basketball team, and I'm gonna take them to cover -9.5. And I do also like the over 233 in this game. The first game they played, the over wouldn't have hit, but I think that now that we're later in the season, we're really starting to see a large scoring increase, and just scoring is up this year in general. So I'm going to stick with the over on that one. And then next we got Milwaukee at Miami, and this game is a shit show because like Miami is the definition of like a walking injury report. I mean, they have 7 guys out right now: Dwayne Dedman, Tyler Hero, Jovic, Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, D. Robinson. I don't even know how to pronounce that guy's name, but they got 7 guys out on the roster with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler sitting at a game time decision almost every day. So, I mean, I know I'm going in on the Heat right now, but I'm actually going to take their money line today, surprisingly not, because Giannis is not playing for the Bucks. The Bucks had a great. I mean, they won yesterday. We're up 11-0. Almost blew the lead. Giannis could only score 7 points. I don't know. They've just been pissing me off lately. They're playing. They've been struggling as of recently. I saw some statistic yesterday that they're like 4-6 now. I guess 5-6 in their last 11. But their offensive efficiency has been going down, and even Giannis has kind of come out in social media and talked about how he's getting frustrated and how we need to keep up our effort for 48 minutes and not 36. So all those things combined, I'm sticking with the Heat money line. I think the Bucks are in their head a little bit right now. I just think that they're better than the Hawks, which is why they won yesterday. And to go along with that, I like the under in this game because, like I said, Giannis is out and Miami doesn't even have their full starting lineup. So I'm gonna stick with under. Right now it's 214.5, I guess. So I'm gonna take the under on that. And then next up we got Boston visiting Brooklyn. I'm gonna stick with the Nets in this game. I do, personally speaking, I'm the type of guy that likes to take revenge games. Hence, we were talking about that Donovan Mitchell return to Utah where he went off. This is like Kyrie always takes it personally playing the Celtics, and I think that the Celtics are a better team, but I think that Kyrie and oh my goodness, I just saw that Kevin Durant. Oh, Kevin Durant's not playing. That just got updated. Okay, so scratch that analysis. I'm so glad I saw that because I would have given you guys bad information. Kevin Durant's out, so it's going to be Boston money line. I would still take. I would take the under now, knowing that Katie's out. Sorry, I did this whole analysis thinking Katie was playing today, so this completely changed it for me. Um, Boston, Boston money line, and I would take the under 226. So yeah, that's my analysis for that one. Charlotte at Toronto. I hate this game because the last time I said Charlotte was going to cover, they didn't. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna do it again. You know, I'm taking I'm taking Charlotte +8. Um, I think Toronto's a better team. I don't think that's a question, but I just think it's too many points. And I know I said that last time, but I think that this second matchup in such a short period of time plays to the Hornets' advantage, and the Hornets have everyone healthy besides Oubre. But I think that the Hornets will. I think Hornets +8 is a great play. I don't really like touching spreads that often, but the problem is with the NBA is when the money line is more than like -250 or 200, I'm not straight betting that. So it's automatically thrown into a parlay. And I think parlays are important. I actually really like placing parlays. The thing with giving people betting advice, it's really hard to kind of tell you to take 16 different picks in one thing and be like, this is a good idea. I mean, the odds of that happening are so low that's why the payouts, five for like $100,000. It just that those types of things aren't super realistic. I personally I like to dabble with it because I always like to have my foot in the door. What happens if I hit it? I've hit multiple $1,000 parlays. I've hit big parlays before. That doesn't mean that I hit every single parlay or I'm a genius, but I've seen it happen before. So I kind of keep my faith in that. And then I use straight bets as like I do bigger volume straight bets to kind of average out what I've thrown on the parlay. So that's kind of my ideology with straights and parlays. But I'm really trying to focus on straight bets on the podcast. And then I might, usually the parlays I'll cook up myself because I don't want to recommend you guys taking more than 3 or 4 or 5 things happening all at once. Whereas I'll take the chance with my own money. This is more about, making you guys money. So sticking to straight bets is definitely smarter when you're trying to just start out making money. But that doesn't, I do think that like 2, 3, 4 leg parlays, I think anything below 5 isn't too much. I think that if you have a good 3 or 4 legger, then there's a pretty good chance that can hit. It's not a bad idea to try. And then last but not least, or I guess we got 2 more games. So Dallas at Los Angeles. Um, Realistically, the Mavericks will probably win the game. I would say Mavericks money line is the smart play. I'm a LeBron fan and a Laker fanboy, so I'm gonna take Lakers money line and parlay with the over. I actually have a future on the Lakers to have over 44.5 wins for the whole season. So I'm gonna continue to try and go along with what I already placed. It's kind of hard for me to fade them when I have their future wins. So I always give them a chance, but like I said, Mavericks money line is the smart play here. And I do like the over. I'd say Mavericks money line and the over is probably a lock. The thing with the Lakers though is like I love LeBron, and so LeBron could come out and score 40 points, and the Lakers could win. And like how am I? It's either LeBron wins the game for the Lakers or they don't. So and also Lonnie Walker's out today. Troy Brown Jr. is out today. Patrick Beverley's out today, and Austin Reeves are out today. So I think LeBron James. I'll go into it a little bit more, but LeBron James over 31.5 points is my lock of the day. If LeBron does not score over 31.5, I'm gonna be fucking pissed because Giannis yesterday let my ass down, but LeBron is definitely more skilled on offense than Giannis. I mean, that's not a question. The dude is gonna have the most points ever scored in an NBA career ever. So there's not even a debate on who's a better scorer. I mean, it's obviously LeBron. But that being said, I don't see how LeBron doesn't have a high enough. He didn't even play last game. He's going to take 25, 30 shots. And if he makes 50 to 60%, like his season average is, he's going to have around 32, 33. So I like LeBron points today. And then last but not least for the NBA, we got Cavs visiting Portland. One of my friends is a diehard Blazers fan, and he was telling me today, he's like, dude, I have a lock. Take Cleveland spread. I don't like spreads that often. I know I took Philly spread for my reasoning of whatever, but for this game, like when they're only -150, that's enough to where you could just take the money line by itself. I think Cavs money line is a great pick, and I like I do like the over as well. So it's 220.5 right now. I would say take the over and take Cleveland money line. I think those are safe bets for that game. And so my 2 props for the day, I have a 2-leg parlay today. That's LeBron over 31.5 and Embiid over 32.5 points. That's my like I I didn't throw. I put like $40 on it for like 100, but that's my two leg lock of the day is LeBron over and Embiid over in points. Um, and then to get into the last thing, we got wild card weekend coming up this weekend, so obviously I'm gonna cover that on this episode. We haven't done any NFL yet, but I'm super fucking hyped because one, I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm also a Kraken fan, obviously, but I'm from Seattle originally. But I'm a huge Seahawks fan. I don't think we're gonna win the game. That being said, never say never. Mr. Irrelevant is gonna have to fucking make it. He's gonna choke at some point. I don't know when that's gonna be. I'm hoping it's against the Seahawks. And for that reason, I think Seahawks plus 9.5 is a great bet. I would be genuinely surprised if they lost by more than 10 because I don't know if you guys know, but the weather is going to be fucking horrible in Santa Clara, and Santa Clara is a grass field. So, I mean, you're just looking at an NFC West mud bowl, basically. It's going to be like a lot of field goals, low scoring, a lot of running the ball. I mean, you guys know how this shit works. It's Seahawks plus 9.5, under 42.5. I think that's a parlay lock right there. Like I said, I'm not saying the Seahawks are going to win the game. I'm just saying be smart and take the points. Um, and then we got Chargers and Jags. This is a tough game for the Chargers, but I'm a Herbert. I went to Oregon. I'm an Oregon alum. Go Ducks as always. And I love Justin Herbert. I'm taking Chargers money line. And I love the over too. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I don't know the weather in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm just going to hope that it's better than Santa Clara. I can check it right now. I don't fucking care enough, but you know what? Actually, I should check it just because I'm sitting here speaking out my ass. I might as well pull the facts up. Um, Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like for wild card weekend, it's going to be sunny and 50 to 60 degrees outside. So the weather is not an issue whatsoever, which I already assumed. So I'm taking Chargers money line, and I like the over because of the points that are going to be scored in that game. And then we got Dolphins at Bills. This is it's a weird. It's kind of a setup game for the bets for the books because I actually believe that I actually think the Dolphins will cover 13 and a half just because and if like the Dolphins defense is good enough and they're a playoff team, like I'd be surprised with how many times they play each other if the Bills just absolutely destroyed them. So, and I know Tua's out, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Tua is very good. And I think that he's already just relying on the fact that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are dogs and he can just throw the ball up to them and they catch it. Also, Mike McDaniels is an offensive mastermind. And I think Mostert's a good running back. All those things combined, I think that the Dolphins are one of those teams. It's like the Niners. If you just put someone in there that's not going to make mistakes, they have a team around them that like as long as Tua is not throwing 3 picks against the Packers where most of them are like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I say they cover. And I think the under is a smart play at 43.5. I don't know. I didn't check the weather. I can check it right now, but Buffalo, I'm assuming is going to be pretty cold right now. Um, and so I think with no Tua, that makes it a little bit more difficult for the Dolphins to put up enough points to cover, or excuse me, to hit the over. So I'm going to take Dolphins plus 13.5 and under 43.5. And then for the Giants and the Vikings are the definition of frauds to me. They have like the best record with the worst point differential in the NFL. So I'm taking the G-men here. G-men money line. I think Danny Dimes is going to come out playing ready to win. I think that I like their coach. I'm blanking on his name right now. He's kind of a funny dude though. And I think Saquon's obviously a generational talent. So I'm taking the Giants. I think they're going to pull this one out, and I'm going to go under 48.5 too. I think the Giants they play low scoring games. They have a good defense. Bengals and Ravens. Lamar's not playing, so it's kind of a toss up, but the Ravens play fundamental sound football. Harbaugh's a good coach. I think that they're going to do enough to kind of slow the game down for the Bengals a little bit. I do think though that the Bengals will cover minus 9.5. I think the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm saying it right now. I already have a future placed on it. So mark my words. I think the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl this year. So I'm taking a minus 9.5. I'm also taking the under just from the standpoint of the Ravens don't have their regular offense, so I don't know if they're going to be able to score 21 just to hit the over. And then last but not least, Tampa Bay Dallas. I I've been seeing so many stats about Dak Prescott, and it's crazy how poorly he's played with the lead and how many interceptions he's been throwing. I mean, he might figure it out. That's great. I just when is it ever a good idea to bet against Tom Brady in the fucking playoffs? Like, who else is the GOAT of football? It's Tom Brady. So I don't see how you bet against the GOAT. That's why I bet on LeBron. I would bet on Jordan if I could. I wasn't alive. I mean, I can't fade Tom Brady in the playoffs. So I'm taking Bucks money line. Call me crazy. We'll see what happens. And I'm taking the over 45 and a half to it's gonna be either in where's this game actually? I don't even remember. I gotta check. I don't have my co-host here to help me out like that. It's in Tampa. Um, yeah, so once again, another Florida game. The weather should be not a problem. High scoring game, probably. Depends on if Dallas tries to run the ball a lot, but I still think the over is a good play. So yeah, that's it for today. At least with the whole slate. I got a few more minutes here. I'm gonna kind of go through a little bit and maybe put together a parlay or two. But at least for straight bets speaking, um, LeBron over in points, take it. Embiid over in points, take it. Cavs money line, take it. If you want to do the money line for the Cavs parlayed with the over, because you'll get a little bit better value, I think that'll also hit. I think that in terms of like, trying to think, I also think that the under and the net Celtics game is going to hit. I think that's a lock. And last but not least, Seahawks plus 9.5 parlayed with the under 42.5. I think that's a lock. I think that's a lock too. Yeah. So those are kind of like my I would do that like 100%. What I do for my parlay is I use FanDuel. And so with FanDuel, like with my NBA picks, I literally will parlay. Like, so I told you guys for every game, either a spread or a money line and an over under. I parlay like the spread slash money line and the over under in every single game into all of them. And if there's usually like 7 to 10 NBA games a day. Sometimes there's only 3, but say there's like 5 or 6. If there's 5 games, that's already a 10 leg parlay because you're basically doing 2 things a game. The payout odds are crazy. And I think it's one of those things where, in my opinion, I think it's worth it to risk $1 with the amount of time I spend trying to go through all the stats and figure out what would be the smartest play. Gives me enough confidence to maybe put down like $2 or $3 on something that could pay me out like 20 grand. Because like if it hits, it hits. I mean, that's what it's a gamble at the end of the day. You're just trying to make money, and that's kind of how I look at sports betting, which is why I started this podcast. I mean, I don't need to go into the specifics of it, but like I am all time positive in my sports betting career. And I do look at it as a way to make money. Not just, I don't just like to bet to bet. I like to make money, obviously. And I love sports. So I try to combine both those things together. But overall, I think that it's going to be a good day. Thanks guys for listening. I hope that I wasn't too brutal by myself, but appreciate the any love and support. I would love you guys if you guys could leave a like or a comment of any feedback you want to see, anything you want to see us talk about. I mean, the only way this thing gets better is if you guys tell me how to make it better. And I'm here to listen to. I'm very open. I will listen to anyone. So just leave us some feedback if there's something you think that's screaming at you in the face. But other than that, thanks guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.